Welcome to the Book of Who on Offshoot Comics. I'm your host Natasha, the NotSoBlack Widow. Today we're going to be talking about the Time Lords, so let's get going. You've probably heard of the Time Lords because the Doctor is a Time Lord. If you're watching the new series, you might remember that the Doctor is the last Time Lord. For the purposes of this episode, we're going to be talking about the Time Lords up to the last Great Time War, and we'll deal with what happened to the Time Lords during and after the Time War in a later episode. The Time Lords are people from the planet Gallifrey, the Doctor's home planet. When the Gallifreyans discovered time travel, the Society of Time Lords was born. Time travel is possible in the Doctor Who universe using the time vortex, which was either discovered or created by the Gallifreyans. It was exposure to the time vortex that caused the Gallifreyans to evolve into the Time Lords. The Time Lords then built time machines called TARDISes, which they flew through the time vortex. That's how they travelled in time. Time Lords look very similar to humans, but they have several biological differences. For example, a Time Lord has two hearts. One of the most important differences is that Time Lords regenerate. This is a way of cheating death. When a Time Lord's about to die, instead of dying, they go through a massive physical change into a new body. When Time Lords regenerate, they can change their sex, their skin tone, their accents, and more. They retain their memories and some of their basic personalities, but this change is mental as well as physical. Without interference, a Time Lord can keep their body for many centuries. A Time Lord dies by either running out of regenerations or being killed while trying to regenerate. A Time Lord usually has 12 regenerations, which makes 13 bodies, including the one that he was born in. The Doctor's actually a special case here, because he was given a new set of regenerations by the Time Lord High Council. The justice system of the Time Lords also includes forced regeneration and the removal of remaining regenerations. We'll talk about that in the episode about the last Great Time War. As a society, the Time Lords can be very strict about interfering in history. This is of course a problem for the Doctor because he likes to get involved in historical events, so he's often in trouble with his people. Due to the plot of the last Great Time War, we haven't seen many Time Lords in the new series of Doctor Who. Though we know that Time Lords can change sex, etc. during regeneration, they don't seem to have much control over this. For example, the Doctor has wanted to be ginger for his last few regenerations and hasn't managed this yet. So today we learned about the Time Lords, the Doctor's people, some of their history, their biology, and their politics. Tune in next week and we're going to be talking about the Daleks, the enemies of the Time Lords. If you have any questions or comments about the Time Lords, leave them below. Like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. Good or again?
The way you say ginger is funny.
Why? Ginger?
Yeah, ginger.
Yeah, I guess
you
it's
added
funny.
like 13 letters on the end. like say like an American. Ginger.
Ginger. You have like an on the end.
Ginger.
Ginger.
It's still
Ginger. Ginger.
It's still
Ginger.
Say water.
That's the only word I can say. Water. No, that came out wrong. That came out wrong. Water. Water. Water.
That can't be what we sound like.
You actually do sound this dumb.
Oh my gosh.